listening to this. Welcome back to Nerd In Out.
What if they're listening to this on the space station? They don't have any of those.
I mean, if they see the sun, they can consider it day if they want.
But what if they're like on the precipice of the edge of the, the cornea of Earth?
Precipice. Man. See, okay.
It's been a little while.
Well, no, it's funny because I was spending time in Germany, and my fiance, I say anything, she breaks out into song, and I just did that.
That's how you know it's meant to be, sir.
Well, no, the thing is, though, I don't normally do that, but she got me
that's
into
the thing.
doing it.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Ridiculous. We were visiting Berlin, and we were walking down the street, and I said, like, oh, there's a sign over there that says that. And then she just breaks out into song. I was like,
I saw the sign.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
No, I know.
And some of these lyrics I wasn't familiar with. So at some point I'm just okay. You're just making this up now. There's no way there's a song about that. But no, she just has a bank with a bunch of song lists stored up. Yeah,
it's playlist.com if you can remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So, Awesome. So I'm Evan,
and I'm David.
Yes.
Today, anyway.
Yes. Nathaniel is absent. This is school.
No, I been doing better at removing the issue of the show.
No, that's not it. No, he's not the issue. Pardon me?
Leans over to text phone. We have one more target. No.
It is time.
Yeah. Take the shot.
All of a sudden you see a laser dot on your forehead. What the fuck? But no, he's been busy with work, and he will be taking a break for a while. So it's just going to be us. You're just going to be hearing our voices
just
for
you
the next few weeks. Yeah.
And me. I don't know the rest of the song. No, wait. No, I do. Moving at the speed of light into eternity.
Just you.
Tonight
and me.
Is the night.
Moving into the speed of eternity. Okay.
What have you been up to besides traveling the world and being
traveling
hopelessly in love?
Whatever. No, that's our relationship in a nutshell. We are not very huge romantic people. We're not, or at least she isn't anyway. Anytime I try to say something like hopelessly romantic, she just goes in a loving way. I don't mean that as in
right. She makes it very loud. She goes
she that's just not her style, and I know that's not, and I tease her about it, but it's become something we go back and forth with, and it's fine. What have I been into? I finally got to another anime in my watch list. I've been watching Fairy Tail. That sounds really disappointing. Why? Well, what's wrong?
On to the next topic. What else have you been playing, Evan?
Wow, okay, what do you think's wrong with that?
Oh my God. If I hear another bagpipe song, I will stab my eyes out. I hate how they're like, no, you laugh? Somebody there has a child who's like, I love bagpipes. It's just like, let's throw some bagpipes in there.
And then that's all it is.
That's all the songs are.
My thing is, I've seen clips of it, and I know where it goes and how big it gets, and it's sitting through the first it's like 7 seasons, and so it's a lot. So there's 60 episodes in each season. It's a lot. So I'm just sitting in there I'm on episode 10, and I'm just like, I got to get through a lot to get through this. This is a commitment. It's okay. I'm not loving it. I want to keep going because I want to get to the point where it gets really good. You can tell it's really early, and the animation quality is kind of not great, and they
doesn't change, but
it doesn't change. Well, they reuse a lot of the same animations. I also the main character Natsu. I'm not super crazy about his English dub voice. He sounds.
You're watching the dub?
Yes, I'm watching.
Bless your heart.
I'm not a purist. No. I just don't like reading subtitles. It just takes away.
You'll want to read subtitles after watching this. You'll be like, please give me something.
Please give me words.
Like, because the guy who voices Natsu is also the voice for Death the Kid from Soul Eater in the English dub.
He's also the voice of Ling from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
He is indeed. So he is very seasoned.
I like him in sample sizes.
Yeah.
When he's a Ling, the side character, that works. When he's the main character, I don't know, his voice kind of gets on my nerves sometimes a little bit. So, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying it. There's funny moments in it, and I'm enjoying it, but it's not like.
Look, just do your due diligence, watch 50 episodes, and then move on. You don't have to. This isn't One Piece where you're sucked into the storyline.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even started on One Piece yet.
Oh my god,
dude. And I know that's a lot. It's like
people say that's a mountain to climb. No, it's
like Mount Everest is like a hill compared to like getting through One Piece.
Like
I'm waiting until like I'm retired to get through One Piece because I'm waiting until I have no time, like all the time in the world.
You'll be like, you and I will be 80 when they finish the timeline of One Piece. You're like, yes,
time to binge.
Yeah, and then your grandkids are like, the hell are you watching, Grandpa? And you're like, they did it.
They finished it.
As they slowly back away while you mumble about like the grand line in One Piece, and that's just how it'll be. He's like, the guy who wrote it. They're on manga chapter 900 right now.
What?
He's like, we're all barely halfway through is what he said.
How are you barely halfway through at 900?
I don't know, but oh my god, help us.
What? No, watch. What's gonna happen is there's gonna be 2,000 manga chapters.
Oh my god.
Because he's almost at 1,000. So he said we're almost halfway.
Yeah.
Halfway is gonna be 1,000, and then the second half is the same.
Well,
it's gonna be the entire life of Luffy. Watch. It's gonna be him going to power, and then like the slow decline, and then him becoming a teacher at the end, and then dying.
I don't.
And I don't even know anything about the story, and I can already.
You could be onto something there. I don't know, but I've enjoyed the ride for as long as I have been following it.
Man. But I mean, other than that, I've been playing God of War, the new God of War game that came out. We will do a review on that at some point. Mm-hmm. But. That is a very fun game. A lot of people have been jokingly call it God of Boy.
Yeah,
because
boy. I have an itch on my back. Boy, grab my hatchet and scratch.
Will we meet people on our journey?
Yes.
Will they be nice?
No.
It's just
like, are you a 20 questions robot? Like, you only give one or two?
No.
I want him to be my GPS voice.
One of my favorite lines from the character, God of War, Kratos, and then his son Atreus. Those are the two characters you follow, and they have a lot of back and forth banter. One of my favorite lines is you're carrying this big like stone or whatever, and he's like, "Are you just gonna carry?" Atreus, his son, he asks, "Are you just gonna carry that around everywhere we go?" And then Kratos is like,
"Yes,
I just might." And I love it so much. It's a fun game, and there's a lot of playability like afterwards, after you finish the story. So.
Did you see the video where the voice actor does a bunch of lines that people write for him to do?
Oh,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or he does all the dad jokes.
Yes, yeah, that one's good too. I like that guy a lot. He's very funny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's funny like listening to him laugh.
Yeah,
that was funny because it's just like, oh, so if Kratos laughed, that's what that would look like. Huh, interesting. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah. You're just like, I hope he doesn't have a sense of humor.
So what have you been into? We're talking about me a whole bunch.
Oh,
what
man.
About you, man?
Just still stuck on Civ 5, man. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I
don't know what I'm going to do.
If you have work.
That's not true. I've been playing Fallout 4 also because I broke down and spent $500 on 32 gigabytes of RAM, and now my computer's lightning quick. So now I'm like, what games can I play where I don't have to worry about buffering anymore? And I'm like, Fallout. If there's a game that has more assets than any other game, it's Fallout. It's like when a person can.
I mean, I don't know. God of War has the Infinity War gauntlet in it, so.
I mean, that's true. That's very true.
That's a pretty awesome Easter egg, which I found it, by the way.
You did.
I've been using it. It is amazing. I have 3 of the stones in it. It's awesome. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean
everyone's been on and isn't there like Thanos? Isn't Thanos in Fortnite too as the DLC or something?
Yes.
It's being crazy. But did you hear Deadpool 2 smashed Infinity War in the box office?
I did not hear that.
They did.
What was do you remember? Do you know the numbers?
Do I know the numbers? I'll tell you. I have the numbers right in my brain. So I think Deadpool 2 brought in $132 million.
Wow.
In its
opening weekend
box office, but Infinity only brought in $125 million.
So Deadpool brought in $180 million?
No.
What was the number? Sorry.
Deadpool brought in 132.4, I think, million.
Wow. In the opening weekend?
In the opening weekend.
Wow.
And Infinity War brought in $125 million.
Wow. So not by much, but...
But in comparison, Infinity War still is holding strong as one of the best selling.
It's like $1 billion.
Yeah,
right?
It's still high. But Deadpool 2 beating Infinity War, that's pretty...
Opening weekend, that's impressive.
But it's Deadpool. He would anyway.
Yeah. I was like, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
Deadpool 2? No, I have not.
You have not seen it, no.
Work and vacationing has kept me from doing that.
Yeah. I will spoil this little tidbit. They don't reference Infinity War ever in it.
I like that though.
Yeah, because I was kind of hoping they would at some point. Like it's like you thought the ending of Infinity War was sad. Like I was really waiting for that line, but that never happened. And which I'm kind of on your side with. I'm kind of glad they didn't because that's a
you know what? As much as they jumped the shark in that, you don't want it to be like jump the shark over the ocean as well.
Yeah, it's not jumping the shark. It's like jumping like into the stratosphere and like
jump up to the moon, One Punch Man style.
But yeah, so
just just been doodling around. I went on vacation. I went up to a lot of places. I went to Solvang, San Luis Obispo, Big Sur. Lompoc.
Wow.
So I did some traveling this weekend.
That's awesome.
It was a good road trip. So
yeah,
but
that's cool, dude.
So our topic today.
This is going to be a little more relaxed.
Kick on the jazz.
Yeah.
Editor, engage jazz music.
That's me. That's me this week.
David Brubeck, please.
Yeah. Kenny G.
Yeah.
Saxophone player. And we don't sing. We just like play notes with our mouths. So we're going to be going into a little bit of a conversation. This is more of a conversation, less of an actual discussion with topics and points and all that stuff. We're just going to be going opinion to opinion and all that stuff. So video games. This is.
I've got a good way to start this.
Yeah.
In your memory, what was the first video game that you realized you liked playing, and that's what started your video game love?
Oh man.
Now I'm not talking like first like big game.
Yeah.
So when I say first like video game, like your first where you sat down and you're interacting with a computerized sequenced game.
Yeah, exactly. With my first game was with like polygons and stuff. I think my first game ever was Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Nice.
That was my first game
good game to
ever.
That's a good game to start and a good game to learn that you hate video games. I died so much.
Well, I mean, I did too. Well, the thing was, though, it wasn't meant to be like a child-friendly game.
No.
It was meant to be hard. It was a challenging game. But yeah, no, I think, that was the first game I ever played. And that really...
Do you think that spurred on future decisions in games that you've appreciated?
I remember not playing a lot of violent games growing up. My parents did a pretty good job keeping me sheltered for the most part, but then I got to middle school and all that went downhill. But I remember playing a lot of like Crash Bandicoot. I remember playing a lot of like sports games growing up. Like there was I never if I ever played Halo or God of War or Call of Duty or anything like that, I went over to friends' houses and played with them.
LAN parties, the way it should be.
Yeah. So I never played any of those games, any of like those really violent games growing up. The first few games I ever played were Crash Bandicoot. I had a Buzz Lightyear game.
Oh,
yeah,
for N64.
No, it was for PlayStation, the original PlayStation. Yeah. And it was the Buzz Lightyear game where Buzz is like the toy in Toy Story, and it's like you're going and like rescuing your friends and stuff like that. So I remember.
Do you still have this game?
I don't know. I'd have to do some digging. I might. I had a Rugrats game.
No.
Yes.
No.
I did.
Oh my.
And it was. I mean, oh no. I shouldn't say it as it was singular. It was plural. I had two of them. I know.
What?
Yes, I know. I had one where they were like on a movie studio, and Dill got locked in a room.
He would be.
It wasn't even his fault. Like the dumb security guard bent down to pick up his keys, and his fat ass like knocked the door closed and locked him in there.
Rugrats teaching you diabetes is a problem.
Yeah. And all the keys got scattered across the movie studio, and you had to go find the keys to save your brother before he suffocates from air loss. That wasn't an actual thing.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I'm like when did this turn into the garbage scene from Star Wars? Like,
looking back on it retrospectively, like no, like he would have run out of oxygen. The amount of time it took me to play that game, my baby brother died. Like there's no way he survived. And then the second one was based off the Rugrats Go to Paris game.
Yeah,
they're in the amusement park where there's like the Chinatown, and you could play as Chucky and go like karate chop a bunch of like,
oh my god,
like they were like stick figures but like made of like planks of wood. And you had to like karate, and what was creepy about them is you had to beat them. They were creepy because you knock them down and then they like rise back up.
Undertaker status. They're just.
No, they didn't like gather themselves and get up. They just rose, and it was terrifying. But yeah, those were
like, your starters.
Those are the ones that I remember. Those are like my earliest playing video games. Those are the ones I remember the most.
Those were the first.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then I remember getting older, and then I had like racing games, and I remember playing Madden a lot, like on the PlayStation 2. Like I remember playing that one a lot. And then I got a Grand Theft Auto 3. I think that was my first like.
Nice.
I think that was the first like
purchased.
Really, no, I didn't purchase it. That was the first game I rented. That was like a really violent game. That was the first one I really.
Blockbuster.
Yes, of course.
Oh, snap!
That's where I got all my games.
Nice.
Blockbuster was.
Mine was Hollywood Video.
Okay, what was your first video game that you remember playing?
Oh gosh, I remember it vividly. My parents, we just got a computer in our house because my parents stopped letting us be babysitted by our grandparents because we were old enough to walk home from school. And when we got done with school and finished all of our work, because at the time our school was literally like 3 blocks away from our house, so I could finish my work at school since my aunt was my teacher, so she'd make sure I finished my stuff as per the agreement from my parents. So anyway, my parents got a computer because they figured if we're going to be at home, they'd rather us not be watching TV. And during the era where Jerry Springer and Maury was rampant on TV, and my brothers loved it.
Midday TV.
Yeah, my brothers loved that show. But so they got a computer, and they were like, okay, well, we're going to put a few desktop games on it. And then we made little profiles. The first game was Pajama Sam.
Oh my gosh.
And
Pajama Sam.
I loved that game so much. That was the first Dark Souls, if you think about it.
It was.
I'm like, you mean have to go? Or like, I remember it being retarded hard. And like, my brother's like, yeah, I finished the game. And I'm like, How? There's like 40 hours of game in this. Like, I don't know how you've done this. But
what was the other one with the car? Do you remember him?
Oh. Yes. Mine was the weather one. Because I remember... Oh, no. Thunder and Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Something... I forgot the name of it. Thunder and Lightning, Not So Frightening, I think is the name of the game. But
that was the one with the Pajama Sam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
but the car one...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
For some reason, I can't get Beeper out of my head, but I know that's not his name.
Beeper
because he cusses a lot. And every time he cusses, it's the car horn.
It's the car horn. It all makes sense now.
No, because I had one of those games where he was at a zoo, and you could go through they had a car painting shop in the middle of the zoo where you could change the color of the car. And I was like,
must be in the Bronx.
I'm like, why do they have this? This makes no sense. And yeah, there's the car. The car ate cotton candy. And that can't be good for.
That's not good for the car.
that can't be good for the filter.
I remember those games. It was Pajama Sam. That one was really fun. I played that a lot.
Playing him. Yeah.
Bugdom. You remember that one? That one was the first Bug's Life, but it wasn't Bug's Life.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It's coming flooding back to you now.
I didn't even think of the computer games. Are you kidding me?
That was ours first. Because there's a backstory to that.
Thinking back to it, those actually might have been my first. Because I remember playing do you remember the Disney movie Dinosaurs?
Yes. Oh, yes. I had played that.
There was that computer game. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember playing that.
We have to run around, and there's other bigger and smaller dinosaurs, and you have to collect eggs. I remember this so vividly.
Oh my gosh! And there was different game types.
Yeah.
In it, and then there was one, the one with the water channels, and you had
I hated that one. Oh my God, did I hate that one?
Then there was the one where you were going through the maze, and then there was the other dinosaurs that you had to run away from. Oh yes, it's all coming back.
It's all coming back, man.
Yes, that was amazing.
Those were the first few, and then there was Carmen Sandiego. That one was another one that we played, and that one was kind of just an I Spy, pretty much. That, and then we probably still have
Where's Waldo with a theme song.
But the first one that really got me in, I would have to say, is Pajama Sam. But the one that got me into long games, because Pajama Sam, in retrospect, it's you can play it and be done with it easily, but the one that got me really into long games was Zoo Tycoon, the very first Zoo Tycoon when that came out. Easily. My mom loved that game. She's just let me just get a game for Zoo, that must be fun. And then here's the thing though, is my mom or my dad would play whatever game we were going to have to play to make sure it was okay first. And oh my God, my mom would get home, she's like, all right, my turn. Kicked me off and started playing Zoo Tycoon. But here's the thing, I would always get stuck on Zoo Tycoon. I would dump so much money into everything and not look at the finances, and then it'd just be you're bankrupt. I'm like, oh, but my dinosaurs,
they're all gonna die.
They're all gonna die. And then my mom would be a giant metropolitan zoo, perfectly financially stable. I'm like, Mom, how do you do this? She's like, simple. You don't buy everything at the beginning. I'm just but Mom, that's the point. But I think those were my first ones. And then the first console video game that got me into it was, I believe, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And that one was the first one that got me into it.
That game garbage.
What? Majora's Mask is not garbage. This is a whole nother podcast now. Excuse me?
Dude, it's not good.
Yes, it is.
Well, no, you just have a nostalgia boner.
It's a good game. Okay, here's the thing. Everyone is split between two of the Legend of Zeldas, the original Legend of Zeldas. It's always Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask.
I don't have a problem saying they're both garbage.
Oh, what?
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. They revolutionized the gaming industry with the 3D games, and they totally changed the game, and they will go down in history as some of the most popular great games of all time.
Yeah,
but if you go back and play those games now,
I do.
You will see the mechanics are frustrating.
They are, but that's what adds to the game, though. I love, you can't You can't deny that it is fun playing those games.
It's okay.
Okay.
They're not.
Well, no, hold on.
What
boss?
They're not great.
I get it.
What?
You got stuck at the water temple, didn't you? I get it. You poor sap. You can push through this. It's okay. Just talk it out. You got stuck at the water temple, didn't you?
No, I got
both
stuck.
of them.
No,
you got stuck at both of them.
No, I got stuck at the fire temple.
See?
But
it comes out.
That's not why. That's not why. I had a friend, and I went back. I had a friend who has a 64, and I went back and I played it again.
Yeah. Which
one? And Ocarina of Time.
Okay. All right.
And I do know that Ocarina of Time, or that Majora's Mask was like basically just a reskin of Ocarina of Time.
No. What? Okay, there's temples. Okay, sure. It's somewhat similar.
It looks exactly the same, but you're just playing as Kid Link, and now you have masks. That is the
look,
only freaking difference.
You can't.
And you're not in Hyrule anymore. What is the point of Legend of Zelda if you're not in Hyrule?
That's the thing, though, is it's different. It's its own little side thing. And that's the charm. Go on with your story about Ocarina Time. I'm throwing this.
No, and
I tried to flip a chair and failed. Go ahead.
just like Majora's Mask tried to be a good game.
Oh, you better watch your mouth.
No, okay. I went back and I remember thinking to myself, man, were the controls always this frustrating? And they were. And what happened was, games back then, they had to program. They didn't have a lot to work with when it came to like storage space with these right. cartridges and all that stuff. Yeah. That went into the N64. So a way to make people feel like they got their money's worth for these games, they had to make the games feel longer.
Right.
Which all they ended up doing was make you wait a whole lot. And that's not hard. It's just a difficulty supplement.
Fair.
Because all the fighting in it isn't necessarily hard. It's just a bunch of waiting. Like you wait and attack. You wait and attack. And attacking them during the waiting point is completely useless because it doesn't do anything. And then what's terrible about it is that Zelda, the very first Zelda game, was an exploration game. Like that was the whole point of it. Yorimoto, the creator of Zelda, he created Zelda with the feeling of him as a kid exploring the woods, like when he was a child. That was like the aesthetic. With Ocarina of Time and with Majora's Mask, there's exploration. And there's but then they took a really big emphasis on combat with the Z targeting and all that stuff. They could have built an entire game built off that combat system, but guess what? Right. They didn't. And now you have this weird, awkward combination of combat and world.
Yeah,
and they don't mix very well.
What? Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, come on.
Because it's a jarring disconnect from when you're exploring and it's open world and you see everything, and then combat, and then it's all tight and you can't see your peripherals very well, and then you fall down hills. You get hit by those freaking. Come on. You get hit by those spinning things with the spikes. I hated those.
It sounds like just repressed rage from that.
It's not a terrible game, but it's not as good as a game as I think everyone remembers it as.
I can't agree with you with that. Look, these games were the first of their kind.
Yes.
Okay, so
I agree.
Nintendo 64, to supplement for that issue, they released the expansion cartridge, which allowed for those big games like Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and the like to be played in such a far extent and on a good quality and not with, rectangles floating on your screen. So
stunning graphics.
Yeah, stunning. I'm watching a slideshow. This is not stunning graphics. This is terrible.
This is like I'm looking at a potato.
Yeah, this is a heart monitor. This is terrible.
Anyway, sorry.
So, look, the way that they formatted that, yes, there is waiting, and that is basically the mechanic of Majora's Mask.
That is the bane of exploration.
It's resetting time to continually work on a already loaded pre-mandated worlds for you to grab.
Don't get me started on resetting time. Like Oh my gosh! Look, no, like going between worlds in Ocarina of Time, like running back and forth and all that stuff. Imagine if you're reading a book, and to turn the page, you have to get up, walk back and forth across your house 5 times, and then turn the page. Gosh, wouldn't that be annoying?
But okay, it is. But that's look.
What?
Hurry up.
That's what.
Hurry up and wait is one of the biggest mechanics in games today. Okay, you can't say it's not the same for God of War.
What do you mean?
You can't say it's not the same for God. Okay, why would you have to go and do as many steps as you have to in order to achieve the main goal of killing Odin? Why not just go straight to the guy?
Well, no. Well, you don't fight Odin in God of War in this game. You don't.
In this game, but the whole plot was to get to him, from what I understand.
Well, he's sealed off Asgard. Odin, he has, and no one knows how to get in, so that's why.
Okay, but
nice try, smartass.
In the context, okay, here's a better one. Do you like Mario 64?
No.
Okay, well then that's probably that's a.
You're like, this is my ace in the hole. I got this guy.
No. You don't like Dark Souls either. I know that for a fact. Or Bloodborne. It's all about the person, man.
No. I agree.
You have a valid argument, though.
I agree with you, though. Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
No, I'm not saying you have a wrong opinion. I know that everyone has a different like in a game, but
no, that's what I meant. Everyone has their preference.
I have to be the devil's advocate sometimes, man. I have to be like, look.
Oh, with Xbox too?
Look, man. Okay. Look.
All right. Before we get too deep into that rabbit hole.
So let's try and channel back.
Okay.
So those were our first games.
Yes.
Now, from what you remember, what was the advertising for games around that time for you? Did you see like
it was almost non-existent,
right?
From what I can remember, the mainstream media has definitely like had an effect on games and just how they are viewed.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 90s, like you don't have to go super far back like to the 80s or 70s. In the 90s, like you didn't even see like
commercials.
You didn't see commercials. You didn't. And I'm talking more like mainstream. You didn't see people like playing competitively like in the 90s. Like that wasn't even really a thing. That didn't really start happening until like 2004 or 5, like with Halo. That was like the big thing that everyone was playing competitively. And
I think even before that, it ended up being like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. There was something. Smash Bros. on N64. Yeah, that one.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was.
And I think what really picked that one up was Melee. When they released Melee, that's when it was like, it's real now. Like people playing in lightning mode and still.
Yeah, it's like oh, like this is how my friendship's done. I think advertisement has definitely, or just like how
it has a huge sway on how games play out.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember a lot of commercials and stuff for video games when I was a kid. I do remember. I remember going to GameStop and then there being like magazines where they had advertisements for games.
Game Informer. I remember the name. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I think they're still around.
They're still around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the way that we learned about games, and.
A lot of it is just through osmosis, through the people around us playing the games, I think.
Yeah. And that's really how they relied on getting news out about the games.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so in your mind, how do you feel that mainstream media as a whole has affected just like the culture of video games and like how they're received by the community and by people?
I think media today and in a whole can make or kill a game before it's even released.
I'd agree with that.
And I think it also has a huge impact on how well a game can be recepted based on what they release and based on how, they advertise it. And obviously it's similar to movies, where if it has a bad review before it even comes out, it deters people from playing it. And in a world right now where games are released almost every single day, it's very difficult to get really, like, I think the most recent one, God of War, that one was a media storm for how popular and how well received it is, and for a right reason. There's a lot that dumped into that. But I think overall, I think media has had a pretty positive effect on video games because of just the simple fact that it's become almost an internet sport. It's an esport now.
Yeah.
So it's
crazy. You go back 10 years and you wouldn't consider like playing video games, not as a tester, but just like playing video games and then like posting the footage would be considered like a job. Like people on YouTube do that and they make a living from doing that. Or people like on Twitch, you know, and they who stream themselves playing video games. Like you go like in the 90s, like that's unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, one, like the internet was garbage back then, but and like streaming wasn't a thing. YouTube wasn't even a thing.
What are you talking about? My ThinkPad was lightning fast.
AOL dial-up.
Yeah.
You gotta be
I loved that. I love that sound. Yeah. The computer is dying and I'm listening to it.
The computer's dying and I'm doing nothing to help.
I'm pressing control. This will help work faster. I don't know, but you know.
Yeah, no, like you wouldn't heard people like recording themselves like on their
game
on their camcorder playing a video game, and then trying to sell it to people for money. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But now people are doing that and
making millions off of that.
Yeah, and it's funny because now even like mobile games like on your phone have been hitting the mainstream. Like I'm seeing a lot more ads for mobile games on
Clash of Clans
on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's not
I think the very first one that really did it was Angry Birds. I think they cracked into like every market they could. Commercials, I saw them on you know, advertising. They got their own movie. They got their own movie. They had plushies. They had everything, and it was like, you know, it was crazy how quickly that game turned from just like, oh, you just drag and throw a bird across the screen into pigs. You wouldn't think something as simple as that would be as popular as it was.
Yeah, I mean, 90% of the people who played it were pooping. So, I mean,
everybody poops. So everybody plays Angry Birds.
Well, no, because it was, you know.
You're right,
it became more of like a time waster than an actual
game definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Which says a lot about just like games as a whole. Like, is it like a time waster, or do you think people actually play it because they actually enjoy it? Because I know for me personally, like I enjoy playing games like God of War and stuff like that because it does tell a good story.
Yeah.
But then I also have times where I procrastinate and I just and then I'll just be sitting there and then and the controller just like it just poofs into my hand and then I'm playing it. So it is a weird like mixture. I do find myself like playing it to actually enjoy it, and I'm very intentional with playing it. But then other times playing it just so I don't have to do something else.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that a lot of what has impacted games in that aspect is that games have become so freeform where you could be into a game because it's complex. You could be into a game because of the story. You could be into the game because of the problem solving. I think there's a lot of benefits to games, and I think that's why a lot of kids these days are just so much smarter than we were at that age. Is just the exposure to
that's pushing
ready information and like just problem solving. Think of, all right, so I hate to use Minecraft in a building constructive like manner, but Minecraft is a great resource for kids to explore creativity without actually physically being creative. Okay. I don't think I see kids playing with Legos as much today as I was when I was their age.
That's fair.
Because they're able to access these imaginary pixelated objects and create gigantic worlds of their own, you know, fantasies and imaginations.
Or just make a giant
or schlong
thing.
A huge schlong.
A huge schlong made of dynamite.
And then light it up and then crash your computer. and then
blow up the schlong.
Literally busted his load.
Red Rocket. Anyway.
But I think, you know, in a way, it's been more of a help than a problem. Not to say that some games weren't a problem. I know that I'm sure when you were a kid, your parents were like, you can't play shooting games because then you're going to start shooting people.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
That's exactly how it works. You know, because if I had
Crash Bandicoot, you don't see me spinning people out, you know?
I played Donkey Kong. Doesn't mean I'm going to collect golden bananas. Like, this is not how it works. I don't understand that. But
I play God of War. Now everyone has to worry about me throwing an axe at things. Just and constantly saying the word boy.
Yeah.
Come here, boy. Man, no, I think not social media. I think just media as a whole, especially like in the news, they've had such a negative effect on video games, and I feel like video games a lot of times they're like pit bulls. They just get such a bad rap because
I see that
because the media says so.
Yeah,
and people don't want to do research of their own. They just take what they get and accept it as truth, and then that is all. And
yeah,
that's a very frustrating fact about like the world right now. And I don't want to get too political right now, but I was gonna say that was really teetering on a political statement.
Yep.
Damn sheeple. So, question: If you ever have kids, for example, do you think you'd be strict with what they play at first, or do you think you'd want them to explore and let them kind of be like, okay, you think you want to play that? Okay, well go try that and see what you think.
I'd be strict, especially because in today's age where you have like 9-year-olds playing Call of Duty, it's like, you know, how you mentor and
you don't want to add to the squeaker problem.
Yeah, don't want my kid to be that. But also in the fact that I remember from when I was a kid, the video games were a building experience. You were learning how to problem solve. You were learning how to do things, and it got you somewhere. So like as my kid grows, I would much rather them learn not through video games, but eventually they're going to want to play. And when they do, I would want them to play games similar to what I grew up playing. Like 64, Pajama Sam.
Yeah, because you turned out so great.
I use great with like 10 quotation marks either side. But
I mean, you thought Majora's Mask was good. It's like how good are your kids going to grow up?
Look, I'm a kid who's just when I was a kid, I just liked being able to just go into my own world and do my own thing and solve everyone else's problems.
Did you ever play Sims?
No. I've never played Sims. My fiancé
is crazy about Sims.
Really?
That's like the one video game.
So you likes building a room with a bathroom and then getting rid of the door.
I don't know if she's ever done that. I think she told me she has Sims who have kids or something, and she's like,
weird.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Yeah,
I've heard people that create like realism, like they put people in their real life into The Sims and then have like dynasties of kids and parents.
Oh, that's so weird.
Just like, that's so weird. Why?
Yeah, yeah. So she never played a lot of console games. Like the biggest console game she ever played was Crash Bandicoot.
Well,
she played Crash Bandicoot, and she was really into Pokemon when it was out.
I was as well. That's also
yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, that's a whole other realm of.
That's kind of that I think is the epitome of getting a kid into collecting 100% of stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That is like that's a kid who enjoys vast numbers of. What were we at? Like 1,300 Pokemon now or something crazy?
Yes.
I'm like, God Almighty. Ash, you have not caught them all. You are not the best there ever was. Go home.
So,
I don't know. They are our future.
Oh, no.
But, I guess back to the original question is that I would be very strict as to what my kids play.
Yeah.
Just because when you're that age, everything's impressionable. Everything has an impact.
I think I would be too. I think I'd try to find like a middle ground because I wouldn't necessarily want to, control everything because I know that they're going to be exposed to it one way or the other.
Yeah.
So if anything, like if they were exposed somewhere where I would be there, then maybe that wouldn't be so bad. So then maybe that way it's like, hey, like you know that's not okay, right? And they'd be like, yeah, I know, Dad. Okay, cool. And then that would be the end.
That would be the end of that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not going to kill anyone, are you? No, I'm not going to kill anyone. Oh, okay, good. And that'd be it. That sounds like a great dad.
As he plays like Red Dead Redemption. You're not going to kill anyone, right? How, Dad? How do I play this game without killing anyone? Let me show you. No.
It's called pacifist mode. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think that overall video games are great, and I think people from the news, especially CNN, just needed.
This seems like this is spurred from something. Was there something that triggered you? Were you triggered by a statement by stupid liberal CNN news? Where someone could fart in the middle of an alley, and then so it would be someone's fault, and someone had to be sued.
I mean, there's nothing further. I mean, that's so true, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But no, okay. The only thing is though, like due to all the gun violence and that's been happening, there's been a small group of people that aren't blaming the NRA, but they're blaming, violent video games.
Well, because they realize that the NRA has killed 0 people. Yeah, so they can't go blaming an association that has not caused anything.
It's like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, this argument's crap.
Yeah. It's like blaming
violent video games. Yeah. It's like they don't want to take responsibility for.
It's like blaming Petco for dying dogs. It's like, what did they do? They don't do anything. They're not. They sell you dogs.
They don't do anything directly
involved. Nothing. Yeah.
And rather than just saying like, hey, like humankind is messed up,
they blame it on video games.
They got to find a scapegoat, and video games just happen to be the scapegoat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get political. It's just
no, but it's important though, because in a way that is where we're at in society, where you're either on one side of the fence or you're not. Yeah. You like video games or you don't, and that's up to whoever's individual opinion. But to blame something because of a video game is kind of childish in a way.
It's ridiculous.
Because
I remember there was this BuzzFeed video where they had some people playing Grand Theft Auto, the fifth one, the most recent one that came out, and this girl was just like, "This is why I hate video games, because it appeals to the male fantasy."
She became a meme.
Yeah, no, she did become a meme, but it's weird because
people view it like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I get some games, like especially God of War, it is a power fantasy. That's like especially like the original ones, like the first 3, or the first like 6, whichever ones
Heck yeah.
There's a lot of them. Those were the idea of those games was like a power fantasy.
Yeah.
And gore fest.
Definitely.
That was the point of those games. Yeah. And I'm not doubting that those games exist. All I'm saying is that's not all games are.
No.
Thank you for joining us for this just this back and forth conversation.
Long-winded ADD conversation.
Yes. I hope. Speaking of thought trains, I hope you followed with that. Jeez. That was a lot.
Hanging on by the caboose of the train right now.
Just being dragged along, getting rocks and pebbles in your face. But no, I think this was good. I think it was a good time, and it was very more or less of just like our opinions. Though,
yeah, that's all it ever is.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you have a problem.
I was gonna say, learn something about you, David. Learn that you liked Majora's Mask. I didn't know it. I can't look at you the same anymore. Something's changed.
This will be the bond that is destroyed by Majora's. No, I'm kidding. All right. Well.
I
had
a
large
friend
who
I
didn't
think
would
understand
that
one
day
I
can
decided
that
I
could
walk
on
a
giraffe I don't know where that's.
That took a really weird turn.
That's like when you keep.
I can decide it.
I can't decide it. There's a period somewhere?
No. Just terrible grammar.
It's like when you press the middle suggest button on the text.
Oh my gosh.